So you want to change a cabin filter in your Honda Pilot, do you? Okay, well first we got to get in the glove box, pull out these clips, and then we're going to swing the glove box all the way open. Now depending if it's been changed or not, we may have to cut some plastic in behind, but we'll see as soon as we swing that glove box open. Okay, so we're back at our glove box. You can see here on the bottom, this is where the cabin filter actually is, but we can't get it out. So what we're going to do is we're going to swing the glove box down. You now remember, we took out those clips, so they're gone, so we can swing it right down. There's the clip if you're wondering. Now there is our cabin filter right there, but if you can see right in the very front, there is a bar blocking us. So we can't get past that bar. So what are we going to do? We're going to have to take out a few screws. But first I want you to take note to this area right here. There used to be a plastic, I don't know, brace if you want to call it that, and someone has already cut it out. So this filter has already been changed once. So this is going to make our job a lot easier, but if you have that plastic in front of the bar, then you're going to have to cut it out. So I'm just going to take out the Phillips bolt on this side with my screwdriver. And then once I'm done that, you'll see I'll pan over. There's two 8mm bolts we have to get with our ratchet. So here I've started one on one side, and then once I'm done this one, I'll move along to the other side. So I'm going to speed it up just a little bit here because I know you don't want to watch me take out bolts all day. So I'm just taking out this last bolt here, and then it gets a little bit interesting. You'll see once I have the bolt out, you'll see it's still not loose, and it's kind of tricky. So here the bolt comes out, and I'll just show you with my fingers here. You can see, there you go, nothing seems to be holding it, but what it is it's the bolt on the bottom that holds the glove box. Because you'll see what happens if we go in here and try to take it out. You can see here, I can wiggle this piece loose, so that's fine. We can even try to push it down and out of the way. And then you can see there's the actual filter element. If we take a look, you'll see here, I'll try to pull it out for a second just to show you guys here, if I can get my fingers around here. There you go. I can try to pull it out a little bit, but it's still gonna hit the bar, and we just can't, obviously, we're not gonna be able to get it past that bar. So it's a little tricky, and most people think once you undo those bolts, that's enough, but you have to undo the bottom glove box bolt. So here's the last bolt that you have to take out. Just threw up a little bit of an arrow. We obviously have to crawl underneath to get that bolt. Now, what I find easier a lot of times is I just use a Phillips screwdriver. You can see me using a ratcheting screwdriver there, but you can see the bolt head. You can actually get a socket on it as well if you want. So it's really your choice, but I just find it easier to use a screwdriver to take it out. So that's what I do. Now here's the tricky part. You got to be careful. You undo the glove box because that bolt is no longer supporting it, okay? But you can't go pulling the glove box away because remember, we still have it attached on that side. So you don't want to break anything. But now what we can do, if you wiggle this bar right here and just give it a bit of a tug, you can see here, we can actually pull it apart from the plastic, and you'll see, there you go. Now there's enough room for us to just kind of push it down just like this, and then we can remove the air filter. But like I said, be careful, like don't go reefing on things, because if you do, you're gonna bend things, and I don't want you to break your glove box. So if you don't feel comfortable doing it this way, then take the bolt out of the other side of the glove box, and then the whole thing, you can try to take the whole thing down, but it's a lot more work. I find that there is enough room. You can see me here sneaking it along. There's the air filter, and I'm pulling it out. So it is possible to do it this way, and I think as long as you're careful, you guys should be able to do it this way without breaking anything. And here you can see one dirty air filter coming out, and yuck, boy, is that ever dirty. So glad we're not breathing in this. Let's get out the new filter and take a look and see just the big difference that a new filter will do. The other thing we can do is we can try to clean out this as well. So any leaves and stuff like that. If you have a little shop vac, you can actually take that out. I'm just gonna pan in here. Here's the new filter. So we're putting the new filter in. Now you can see here I'm struggling with it a bit, I'll be honest, and the reason I'm struggling is I'm holding my camera, so I don't have the use of my two hands, because if I try to push that bar down, it's just, I can't hold the camera. So there we go, I slid it back in, and make sure when you put it in, you can see the way the tab goes. And once you have that, you're on your home stretch. So take your piece of plastic, just like so, you slip it in. I find it's good to attach it at the top first. You'll find there's sort of like a little tooth or something like that there. So anyway, you just pop it over that, and then at the bottom, give it a little push, and it should snap right into place. Once you have it in place, make sure you give it a wiggle to make sure it's tight. There you go, you can see it's not clipped in there. There, I think I got it there. And then once it's in, like I said, give it a little wiggle, make sure it's in tight. And then next step up is this bar. So now what we got to do is we got to maneuver this bar back into place. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pull it back up in here. And you can see it's a bit of a balancing act, but anyway, once you pull it in, you'll see you'll have to line up your bolt holes. So they're not lined up there, and you can see it's almost, there you go. You can see we're lining up our bolt holes. And then what we can do is put in one bolt, and what that'll do is it'll line them up for the rest. Now what I do when I'm putting the bolts back in is I put them all in loosely just to make sure that I get them all in. And then what I do is I tighten them all up. So now what I'm doing is I'm just closing the glove box so the hinge, the upward hinge will hold it, or upward clamp. And then what I can do is, it's easy. I don't need to get someone to hold it for me. I can get the bottom bolt in and just screw it in from the bottom. And there you can see I've screwed it in from the bottom. So now that we have our glove box screwed in, what this does is it aligns this main bar, if you want to call it that. So the steel bar is now aligned. So now what we can do is just put the last bolts in into the steel bar. And after we have our bolt in, now we can take our Phillips bolt next. And then once that's done, we can move to the other side. You can see I have them done because I don't want this video to be just about me screwing in screws. I'm sure you don't want to watch that all day. But anyway, you can see they're all screwed back. So that's pretty much it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to close the glove box. Well, not close it all the way, but most of the way. And we're going to put our little tabs back in. So you got one on each side and you just snap them in. Make sure your glove box is almost closed. You can see in behind there's like a little stopper. So you just got to be past that point. And it's easy to check because once you have this done, you can just, open up your glove box. And obviously if it hits the floor, then you know you haven't done it right. So speaking of floor, let's pan back to the garage floor. So that's it for the video, folks. Here's the tool I use. So just these needle nose pliers. This was just a Phillips screwdriver, should be number 2. And then a ratchet with number 8mm. So that's all I did. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again. Thank you, GarageKing, over and out.